Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today we are going to talk about a missing person case out of Washington State. Sit back, relax, and hope you enjoy the video. On September 27, 2020, a 37-year-old Brendon Nepon went to hike Snow Lake Trail near Snoqualmie Pass with his dog, Sita. Brendon lived in the Seattle area and worked for PLC Insurance. He earned a degree from the University of Arizona, and based on everything I can find on him, he appeared to be a well-rounded, well-liked man with a promising life and career ahead of him. Accompanied with his dog, a hiking pack, and a tent, September 27th at the Snow Lake Trailhead would be the last time Brendon and his dog were ever seen. The Snow Lake Trailhead lies right outside of the summit at Snoqualmie Pass and directly next to the Alpental ski area in Washington State. While it is only about an hour outside the densely populated greater Seattle area, Snow Lake Trail is heavily forested and plentiful with dangerous terrain. Shortly after Brendon was reported missing, a search party was coordinated that incorporated 365 search personnel and 2,000 search hours. The search and rescue teams utilized drones and dogs in their effort, but no sign of Brendon or his dog were ever found. Friends of Brendon posted on Reddit in an attempt to gather info about his baffling disappearance. One Redditor posted that they hiked the trail this same day and counted over 600 people hiking, but no sign of Brendon. Others posted encouraging the search effort and hoping for a good outcome. The summit at Snoqualmie Pass is a highly trafficked, frequently utilized rest stop for people traveling east and westbound in Washington. It has a free public restroom, a gas station, a couple mini-marts, a brewery, and a restaurant. To give you guys a better idea of this area, I went and hiked Snow Lake Trail. Hey everyone, we're here at Snow Lake Trail Trailhead. We're about to start this hike, and this is the last spot Brendon Nepon was seen with his dog September 27, 2020. The trail itself was very well maintained and clearly marked. The first couple miles were densely forested, and I can imagine how searching for anything out there would be difficult. As the trail gets higher in elevation, there are less trees, more rock formations, and rock fields. Being out here and thinking of Brendon's case, it really does make you think about how chaotic the world really is. We have rules and laws, safeguards and restrictions, but at the end of the day, there's no guarantees. It's not fair, and you could go missing or get hurt or disappear, and there's nothing really anyone can do about it. Definitely makes you appreciate life and cherish the day. Despite the trail being breathtakingly beautiful, it was a little eerie and rather tragic knowing that Brendon and his dog had taken this trail right before they had gone missing, never to be seen again. Well, we made it to Snow Lake, guys, and it is truly beautiful. It's very calm, as you can see, and this was quite the scenic hike. Only took about an hour and a half to get down here, and there's traces of humans all over. There's a pair of underwear on the ground right there. Oh, and there's lots of mosquitoes out here. I gotta go. Unfortunately, there's not much information about Brendon or his case online. I requested the police report from the King County Sheriff's Department, but their estimated response is months down the road. If I get that information, I will create a follow-up video. For now, we can just use the information we have available to theorize about what happened. One possibility is that they were attacked by wild animals. While this is rare in Washington state, it does happen. Between cougar and bear attacks, there have been about 20 of each in the last 100 years. The most recent wild animal attack was February 2024. A group of bikers were attacked by a cougar outside the city of Snoqualmie. The most recent bear attack was October 2022 in the town of Leavenworth, where a woman was charged by a black bear. The problem with the animal attack theory is that animals would leave behind traces of their victim or their victim's equipment. And as we have stated before, no trace of Brendon or his dog were ever discovered. Another possibility is that he became lost and died of exposure. He could have become disoriented, gotten lost, and not had enough gear to sustain him. The issue with this theory, again, is that there was no trace of him found. Unless he was far off the trail from where the search and rescue team covered, this one doesn't seem plausible. Another possibility, with the most potential, is that Brendon and his dog were victims of foul play. One would think that if Brendon and his dog were harmed or killed, the perpetrator would hide any sign of them and destroy the evidence. This could explain the seemingly complete disappearance of the two. In addition to these three theories, there are missing person cases where the cause is something completely unexpected, that it takes creative thinking or sheer luck to solve. An example of this is Greg Monroe. Greg went missing in the Mojave Desert on a hunting trip. He set up his camp and seemingly disappeared right after. If it wasn't for a searcher to stumble upon a 40-foot deep abandoned mine covered in brush, they would have never found Greg Monroe's body at the bottom. Our next example of this is Tatum Morrell. She went missing and also seemed to have vanished in thin air after the search party could find no trace of her. It wasn't until later and after the search was suspended that hikers stumbled upon some of her gear and then later her, buried in rocks from a rock slide in an area that the search party had actually looked for her. One more case that we'd like to highlight that could have ended similar to Brendon's is one that occurred just 25 miles northwest of the Snow Lake trailhead. In 2021, Andrew Devers went on a hike outside of North Bend, Washington. He became lost off trail and spent 8 days surviving and wandering in the woods. Andrew somehow managed to find his way back to the trail and was saved by trail runners. Had he not managed to find his way back, he could have suffered a similar fate as Brendon. The Andrew Devers case shows us that it's very possible to get turned around and lost in these woods. He was lost for 8 whole days and just by sheer luck managed to be found. If he hadn't, he could have gone missing with absolutely nothing turning up from him either. The search for Brendon was called off October 6, 2020. The King County Sheriff's Department stated it was too dangerous for the crews to continue searching in the rugged area and with the weather changing. Brendon's case remains a mystery, and I find it heartbreaking that there is nothing found of him or his dog. Usually, when a person and a dog go missing, the dog eventually turns up wandering the forest malnourished. In this case, there was absolutely nothing recovered. There are just so many unanswered questions. Did Brendon and his dog stay overnight camping as they had planned? Were they meeting someone else up there? Did they continue to hike past Snow Lake towards Gem Lake and possibly beyond? If anyone has any insight or theories on this case, tell us what you think in the comments below. Otherwise, we keep people like Brendon in our thoughts and prayers. We think about his family and friends, and hope that one day there is some answers and some closure. Well, that wraps up our video, guys. I hope you found it interesting. Cases like this are sobering reminders that the wilderness can be dangerous and unforgiving. We pray and hope that the family members and friends of Brendon find some closure one day. Well, until next time, see you later.